How's it going? And today I'm going to show you how to do a basic video wall. I was inspired to do this after seeing some videos on YouTube, and I thought they were really neat. And I don't know if video walls have fallen out of favor, but there certainly is there's certainly kind of I think they can turn out to be really fantastic. And if you think about it, they're perfect for our ADHD society that we're living in. So I'm just going to share with you some of my thoughts on creating just a basic 2x2 video wall. And once you know how to do that, you can just expand this out to if you want to do a 3x3, a 4x4, 5x5. But as you can imagine, the work explodes once you get to, I would think, maybe beyond even 4x4 and above, because you're talking about maybe up to 16 tracks of video, and it just gets to be a lot of work. And so video walls are a lot of work, but I think it's worth the effort. They can be a lot of fun. I think the end result can be really, really great. So one of the first things you need to do is, of course, get your video clips together. So this is going to be a 2x2 video wall. So I actually have 9 clips that I'm going to use. And as I was playing around with the video walls and the concept, I realized it's probably good to have a theme and maybe tell some kind of story through the wall and not just show random images. So I think if you're going to go to the effort of doing a video wall, it would be nice to have a theme or a message or something going on. So we're just going to go from there, and I'll share with you all the little gotchas that I kind of found along the way. So to start, I'm here in Vegas. I'm going to, this can work with also any version of Vegas. Make sure you're in the very first position. This is, you're going to be messing with keyframes, and so you want to make sure you stay in the first position. If you get off the first position and you make a change, then it's going to end up animating the clip, and you don't want to do that. I'm going to start this by just pressing Control-Shift-Q, and I'm just going to make 4 video tracks. So that'll be my 2x2. And then I've got my tracks up here already. So I'm just going to right click and drag down. And I'm just going to go video only across time. And this is a little bit good practice. I actually had Vegas for a long time, and I didn't realize you could just right click. But again, like if I just drag the clip down, it's not the end of the world, because I can just delete that clip, the audio clip on that. But this right clicking and dragging thing is really great, because if you get fast enough at it, I guess you don't have to delete that audio track. You can just bring in the video track alone. That's one thing about Vegas I realized, is that it has so many nooks and crannies in it that even if you've used it for a long time, I'm always still learning some kind of shortcut or trick. Just when I think I know a lot about the program, I get stumped on something and realize, oh my gosh, I never knew the program could even do that. So Vegas can be a misleading program because there's a lot to it. Okay, so now I've got my clips. I'm dragging more than one down, and this will make more sense later, but right now we're just going to focus on these first 4 tracks. How we're going to do this is we're going to use the motion tracking. We know if we come up into the properties, we know this is a 1920 by 1080, so our width is 1920 pixels and our height is 1080. So if we're not very good at math, we could come in here and go 1920 divided by 2 is 960. So we know we're going to want 960 as our width for these videos. I'm going to close out of this, and again, make sure you're in this first position. And so we go into track 1 we're just going to go under width. We're going to type in 960. Now, if you'll notice that our video is resized, and it puts us right in the center of the frame here. It looks like we're right in the middle of the origin, I guess you could call it, is right in the center of the video. So we actually need to scoot this over half of this amount to the left, which would be the x-axis. So we want to go left to the x, half of this amount. So that's going to be negative 480. And I think you'll find that just entering the numbers is a lot better than trying to drag this thing around. This way, if you use the numbers, it's very precise and it'll be perfect. And then a y, we've got to go up half of this amount, which is 270. So we just type in 270, and you see that puts our video perfectly in the corner. And now that we know our numbers, 960, 270, and 480, we can quickly go through each video and just pop these numbers in. So this is 960, and on this video, I want this one, the number 2 up here in the upper right corner. So we actually want the X, we're going to want to go 480. Is that right? 480, yeah. So 480, and see how it scoots it over to the right. And then we want to go up on the Y, 270, and that puts us in nice, neat in that corner. And then we'll come down here and do the same thing. We had 960, and this one we want to put in the lower left corner, so we're going to go negative 480 to go to the left, and we need to go down on the y-axis, negative 270, and that puts us right in the corner. And then on our last track, go into track motion in 960, and on an X we want to go over 270. Is that right? Oh, sorry, 480. Oops, gotta click this right. 480 over, and then down negative 270. And there we go. We've got all of our tracks. Now, this is just a stylistic decision, but this just looks like 4 clips jammed together. Now, if you like that and you don't want a border, you can just leave it like that. But if you want to actually get a little bit of the video wall effect, we can offset these to create a border, a black border. And I actually like that kind of black border. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this and we're going to offset these by 5 pixels. So on the X, we're going to change this to negative 485, and we're going to change this to negative 275. There we go. So we're just offsetting these by 5 pixels. And the great thing about this is once you have that number, you just have to go in and change them. So we're just going to change this again to 485, and this is going to be 275, and this will create a nice border for us. Let's see, we got a couple more to go here. So negative 485 and negative 275. There we go. And one more, the last one. The good thing about doing this is once you do the initial work on this, you can save this as a veg file, and then it can become a template for if you want to do another video wall again. As you can see by doing the numbers, we have a nice, perfectly framed, perfectly balanced video wall. Now, one of the things to notice, I don't know if you've noticed this, colors, but warmer colors actually look closer than cooler colors. So see, this is kind of bluish, cooler, and notice how this seems, it seems weird, like this frame kind of seems out of place. And I believe it's the color, of course, difference is why, but also these colors feel closer than these colors. So warmer colors feel closer. So what we're going to do to just fix that real fast is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to throw the color corrector on here. We're just going to pull it into warm it up a little bit there. Hopefully not make it look too ghastly. Maybe make it look like the grass is dead. But I'm just doing that to kind of match it up a little bit more so it doesn't seem so out of place. Okay, and if we play this right now, we basically have our video wall. Now, of course, this is going to get boring pretty quick because it's just, people are going to want, what's the average attention span of someone is like a second? But let's be generous and say it's 3 seconds. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm already bored. Okay, 1. Okay, I'm bored. Maybe, is it more depending where you live? So what we're going to do is, I'll be generous and tell you what, I'll be honest with you. The average length of a shot is 5 to 6 seconds. So we'll leave it at 5 seconds. How about that? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim these clips down like that, and down like this one. I'm gonna stair step them, and hopefully this will make sense in just a minute what I'm doing. And now I'm going to drag this clip in, and I'm going to trim it to like right about there, and just bring these in like that. I'm trying to line these all up, by the way, and like this. And this video actually does tell a little bit of a story. It's that people might get jealous is kind of the theme of this story. Okay, so anyway, let's leave it like that. And then this is so if we play this, what I've done is if you watch it play back, it like animates the frames in a pattern. So you can make the video switch out just by trimming and splitting them like that. And then what I'm going to do is this is my last clip for this thing. This is where he gets some throw it in his face. So what I'm going to do for this very last clip, let's say we want to zoom in on this. So what we can do is when we get right about here, we can go into track motion. And always, remember where you are and what you're doing, because anytime you make an input, it's going to automatically create a keyframe here. So what we're going to do on this one is we're going to put a keyframe right there. That's the same one. So that's holding us our position. So we're going to get off. We're going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to get right off of this one and just click over here. Let's see, that's the same as this, right? Yeah. Okay. So I want to double check my numbers and make sure nothing's changed here. Okay, so this is basically holding our position because this keyframe doesn't change from this one. So this is like holding our position up until this point on the timeline. So if I come here and just get off of that keyframe, now I can pull this up, and let me make sure I'm not restricted in anywhere. And here I'm just gonna click and drag it into the center, resize this up here like that, kind of like that. There we go. And so zoom in here, I can see this is that's a pretty fast, it's like a 1/8 of a second or something like that. So if you right click here on your clip, you can make it a smooth keyframe if you want there. So let's take a look at that and see what happens. That's pretty fast, right? So I should be able to see how close those keyframes are. They're right here on the timeline, but I can just pull that over now just to get me a little more zoom if I feel like I need a little zoom. That's a little better, I think. But I see I'm off a little bit right down here on the bottom. So let me fix that. So am I in the right? Oops, I'm in the pan crop. I want to go back here into track motion. I want to make sure I'm on the right keyframe. What you can do is when you click on this, you can then use your arrow keys and get a lot more precise control like that. And that should do it. That's basically all there is to it for making a video wall. They're a lot of fun, they're a lot of work, but I would say to try to have a story and have some sort of theme between them. And then once you get this down, you can start doing a lot more crazy stuff with the animation and things like that. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have a way of doing a video wall that is really cool, please be sure to do a tutorial on how you did it and give me the link so I can keep getting better at doing these. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.